8th. No, the referee says that's it. He cannot continue. His eyes were not clear, and the Jeep is suddenly stopped by Frank Garcia. A first-round knockout. Not intimidated at all in a professional debut. Frank Garcia, who we hardly had time to tell you about him at all, but what a big first-round knockout win for Frank Garcia.
What's the deal? I don't believe this. I don't believe this.
There he is, Robert Jeep Swenson. The guy's a weightlifter, but as we mentioned before, so many times we've seen great big guys that decide, hey, I'm certainly an intimidating figure. I had to be able to be the new champ. As already, Garza has Berna in trouble. Berna blinks his eyes, shakes his head, and comes out for more. Wow, with the left hand. You can tell Berna's had a lot of fights because while he was nailed pretty good there, and we thought he was in more trouble than what he eventually showed to be, he certainly shows the ability to take a shot. The southpaw style of Berna has caused no problems for Garza whatsoever. In fact, the way he carries his left hand down, it leaves him open for the right hand of Garza. And Garza's taking advantage of it. He just pauses the left hand and then drops that lightning right. Berna, you can see, does have speed as he walks into an uppercut. Eyes very clear. As soon as Garza comes out with any sort of punch, Berna drops his hands immediately, so he's going to be a target for that right hand. Scores, the right hand scores, right back comes Berna. Real good round one, good pace to round one. Don't forget, you're talking about fighters that weigh around 120 pounds. Berna in at 120, Garza a couple of pounds heavy at 122. Nails him on the forehead again. Walks into a left hand, but scores again. Closing seconds of round one and a good round one. Jaime Garza, he's there with the right hand. Counts up to 4. He takes a standing 8 count. It's up to 8. And the round should be just about over. And it is. All right. So a big surprise in the tail end of round number 1. Bobby Berna drops Jaime Garza. Garza cruising along, looking fine in round 1. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, we see Garza on the mat. We'll show you exactly what happens. We'll try to pick it up. A right hand out of no place. He was working on uppercuts. All of a sudden, the right hand dropped him. Watch it from this angle. As the left hand gets through, now you see Garza will start to drop his hands, and then all of a sudden the right hand, as the uppercut, bang, right over it, the right hand catches him. Really surprised him. As you see, his eyes are very clear, but it surprised him. Could be that he was a little bit off balance. It just caught him enough, but that certainly evened out the round in a hurry. Garza cruising right along there with a 10-9 type of round, and then all of a sudden Berna drops him and turns it around. You usually score anytime there's a knockdown. He scored 10-8, but he was behind in the round at that point, so he wins the round 10-9 over Garza. Round 1, a surprise, a knockdown. Garza never off his feet in his career. He's never lost a fight, don't forget. He's knocked out 35 of his opponents. He can't allow himself to get careless. Now we know what they mean by lightning hand speed of Berna. He sees an opportunity, no matter where it is, and he drops it. You know, Garza can't get careless with him. Catches Berna, down he goes. Berna's very clear, though his eyes are clear. He'll take the standing 8 count. Remember, the 3 knockdown rule has been waived. Now both fellows have been down. That'll give some confidence back to Garza. Berna's tagged again. Garza doesn't want to get too careless. The good left hook gets caught. There's the left hand, down he goes. I don't know if he can get up from this one. He's really tagged. It's up to 4, 5, 6. He's still rubbery leg. 7, 8. It's up to 8. He says, yes, let's continue. Says Isaac Carrera. Down twice. Caught with the left hand and a left uppercut. Wild with the right hand, another right. Through the ropes he comes. He's right on top of it. His third time down. The referee says no. He'll take no more punishment. A second round TKO win for Jaime Garza, who wins the WBC World Super Bantamweight Championship. It came at 1:53 of the second round. Jaime Garza, the WBC World Super Bantamweight Champion, is the man that traveled all the way from the Philippines, knocked down Garza in a surprise shot in the first round. Garza didn't like going to the canvas. And now let's get the official announcement from ring announcer Jimmy Lennon. They'd like to see him do something, but Kenny Watson from San Diego has been controlling round 1. Inside the 20-second mark now, remaining in round number 1. At the end of round 1, a good round 1 for Ken Watson. You'd have to score 10-9. Now I understand that. Yes, we are. We're in the dressing room. Jaime Garza. Let's listen to what they're having to say in there. Filling him full of confidence. This fellow, as you see, the WBC #1 ranked contender, 37-0. 35 knockouts.
Okay, yeah.
This is the biggest night of his life.
Can you get more room there to warm up?
Back into the ring. We're looking at Ken Watson. You see Jesse Reed talking to him. Across the way, Mario Ramos. And round number 2 in the scheduled 4-rounder. Bob Sheridan here. Hope you're all enjoying the night of boxing. You got to see why they named the Jeep instead of the tank, the big heavyweight weightlifter. Got KO'd in the first round. We've seen a couple of other good fights, but the big one coming up, the WBC World Super Bantamweight Championship fight. Always, when it comes to this network, you will see a championship fight. Don King, the promoter, puts them together, and you can always be glad that you tuned in because you know you'll see a world title fight in these telecasts. The principals in the ring in the black trunk, Kenny Watson, Mario Ramos trying to pick up the pace a bit, but he's got the jab a little bit more if he's going to do anything with Kenny Watson. Watson looked real impressive in the early goings in round number 1. Ramos came on a bit towards the closing seconds of round number 1, and now Ramos looks pretty good here in round 2. Ramos stands a little bit square-shouldered, if you see what I mean. You see, facing him, he's very square-shouldered. Makes it very difficult to throw and get a lot of power behind the right hand. It also gives a big target for Ken Watson. Two young up-and-coming fighters in the middleweight division. Ken Watson shows a lot of, certainly promise, a lot of heart. And Ramos, the way he was really being bowled over in round 1, shows me a lot of courage just staying in there. Like to see Ramos work a little bit more off of that left jab. Gets a right hand right on the heart of Watson, but no damage done at all. Neither fighter has been down. Watson has a little tendency to shift back and forth like he wants to go southpaw. And perhaps he is a converted southpaw, because usually when you see a guy standing that square-shouldered in a young fighter, a lot of times he is converted. Now he's switched back to right-handed again. And he's nailed twice. Good combination to the head by Kenny Watson. I would be willing to bet that Ramos is definitely a converted southpaw. Because when he gets in trouble, he has a tendency to turn back the other way. And he's in plenty of trouble right now. Watson walks into his shot.